Yesterday, Today, Tomorrow. My name is Mariana Cordier, and I am your host. Physical activity and playing sports help youth to realize socialization skills and have good exercise practices. Adults also benefit from playing sports. It is not just for the young people. To discuss this topic about the importance of sports and the challenges of the pandemic, I have Corporal Laura Perret. She's from the Police Community Service Division, and she's going to talk about PAL, the Police Athletic League that is for youth. I also have Kodjo Gnatiko. He is the founder of GSA, and he is a soccer coach as well. Cameron Thurston is joining us. He is a golf enthusiast over at University of Maryland. And I have Harris Rosenblatt, who is with 4-Star Tennis. He's a tennis coach and an enthusiast as well. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. And Corporal Perret, I would start with you. Tell me about PAL.
Thanks for having me. My name is Corporal Laura Perret. I've been a police officer for about 10 years, but the most rewarding experience I've experienced as a police officer so far is working with the Community Services Division and the youth outreach that we complete through the Police Athletic League. It's a juvenile crime prevention program that uses mentoring and educational and athletic activities to create trust and understanding between law enforcement and youth, which is so important. And we really have built relationships in the community with not only the kids, but also their families as well. We have martial arts, we have running, basketball, baseball, tennis, art programs, soccer, and even mentoring programs where we don't really do any sports, but all of the programs are mentoring as well, have some sort of aspect of that within the programs.
How long has the program been in existence?
Oh, it's been in the program. It's been in existence for much longer than I've been an officer. However, it's really taken form within the past 5 or 6 years. We've really expanded quite a lot. We went with just one program at the beginning, and now we have all those programs that I listed and even more. We even have summer camps. When COVID will allow, we'll have summer camps again.
Well, COVID has thrown a little bit of a wrench in a lot of things, I'm sure. But what kind of impact have you seen having this type of PAL program out there?
Well, children and families that were initially apprehensive of the police have gotten to know us and realized that we're people too. We share the same interests. We work together. For instance, I got a phone call on Saturday morning, a kid that we used to work with that's now 18 and a nice young man who got pulled over in a stop by an officer. And he called me and he said, "Corporal Perret, I wasn't scared at all because I was so comfortable with the police after working with PAL," and that's exactly what we want.
That's an awesome story, and the fact that he wasn't scared, because a stop is kind of dangerous. Do a lot of these kids have other opportunities to participate in sports programs, or is your program the only one?
Well, up through their schools, they usually have tryouts and things, where our program is available to anybody, any skill level whatsoever. So for instance, the running program that I run, they may not have run a day in their life. And by the end of that semester, we get them to complete 5K.
That's incredible. That's awesome. Well, so I know that soccer is really near and dear to my heart, being from Argentina. So I'm going to be biased, and I'm going to head over to Kodjo and welcome him to the show. And I'm sorry, I think I mispronounced your last name. How do you say it?
Gnatiko. The G silent.
Okay. And tell us about your soccer program.
Yeah. Gnatiko Soccer Academy is a soccer program I started 3 years ago because I wanted to give back the knowledge that I've gotten over the years from playing. I have a couple of local teams that play, youth teams that play in local leagues. We teach kids the fundamentals, of soccer to help them develop a passion for the game. And it's just a healthy form of exercise for them to do and develop some life skills.
What are some of the ages of the range of ages for the kids that you have this league set up for?
Yeah. I have programs from ages 7 all the way to high school. I'm also actually a high school soccer coach as well, at Clarksville High School. So
That's
you know,
awesome. Congratulations on being the soccer coach of Clarksburg. I imagine that this pandemic has been somewhat challenging with practices and games. How have you guys overcome that?
yeah. I mean, it really has. Of course, we're living in a very unique time. Where a lot of things I used to take for granted. We kind of have to appreciate now. With soccer, some of the things that they put in place to give parents confidence in letting the kids participate in soccer is the mask mandate from our league. So kids have to wear masks for practices and games. That's one of the major differences from now compared to before. But so far, the kids are just happy to be playing.
Well, so, we talk about children developing life skills and playing sports. And we've heard from Corporal Perret that their program impacts the kids and getting used to and knowing the officers. And so that has a direct impact in their lives. How would you say soccer specifically, what life skills does that teach the kids?
Teamwork, learn to work with other people, social awareness, know how to communicate with other people, know what to say and what not to say, knowing that it's not just them, that other people are also involved, patience, those, that's one big one that, which is a virtue that we all like, excuse me, that we all, that we work on all throughout our lives. Those are some, of course, there's a list of other ones, but those are some of the big ones. Just leadership skills, and working together with people toward a common goal.
Would you recommend kids, once they're out of high school or college, to continue to pursue and play sports?
Yes, of course. Soccer is a really good form of exercise, and it's also a good way to meet people as well, to stay involved in your community. So yeah, I highly recommend soccer. For them to continue being involved with the sport after they graduate high school or college. I will even encourage them to get involved in the coaching world, kind of give back to the community what they've learned, or how soccer has helped shape the person that they've become. I think that there's a big need for that, in the community.
So I know your program's in Montgomery County. Are you in any other jurisdictions?
No, but however, we do camps in DC as well. But for the most part, our program is based in Montgomery County.
All right. And if anyone is interested in getting to know more about your GSA, is there a website?
Yes. The website of my company is gsasoccer.net. So GSASOCCER.net. NET.
Great. Well, I know you're awesome because my niece is always talking about you. And thank you so much for giving back to the community. But what we were just talking about adults continuing to play sports and engaging in sports as adults brings me to Harris Rosenblatt. Thank you for joining us. You're talking about tennis and playing and coaching. Tell me a little bit more about it.
It's a good segue from our two previous panel members. I am a tennis coach, but more so I use this as a means to battle what we're all battling, which is this COVID has really been challenging on mental health. So I'm part of this incredible coaching organization. I basically originate players for 4-star tennis, but I cultivate these relationships over time. I do have a police officer with Montgomery County that's on one of these teams, and he's a core member and he's an extreme trainer. Mark Gribble is my dear friend, and he's one of these core members of these teams. So for me, what ended up happening is I used COVID, as a means to have a safe alternative for adults to just be healthy, because once you're playing tennis, to use Kodjo, and it's so nice to meet him, but to see, these teams continue to thrive during this environment has been an absolute game changer for me. And it doesn't matter if it's soccer or tennis, because I've played on soccer teams too. It's just a matter of having these teams to show up for, because we're all looking for things to chase after in this environment that seem normal. So what I did was I used these teams to empower my friends so that they have something to focus on over time. And it's similar to what Kodjo was saying, which is this is also important for life lessons moving forward, and how we use these battles, these team battles. There's always a way to pull wins from it, whether it's for your health or actually winning or just connecting with people. It's all to the benefit of team, and some of these teams I captain.
I think that the pandemic has kind of highlighted the importance of all those things. I know that when I used to host another show, we would always have someone come on and talk about the need to exercise as adults and to be healthy and eat right. But I don't think we ever thought of it as a perspective of our mental health for, keeping ourselves as adults engaged in sports.
That's so true. I think, for me, one of the messages that I've been able to deliver, because I was able to get better as I aged, tennis, because of the technology, until I was 36, 37, 38, I kept getting better. Now you see this is being played out with Venus, incredible ambassador. But the reality is it's not just the mental health. What it takes to stay healthy enough to compete over time is a holistic relationship to the sport. You got to eat well. You got to train like you're still in college, like it matters. But it's all a menagerie. I don't have any illusions that at 51, I'm the same athlete I was at 20. Okay. But it's the idea that this is how I chose to age, by being of value to my teammates. And it's not just emotional and mental health I'm selling. There's some work I've got to do to keep my body pliable enough to play, because these breakdowns are coming. Something's going to break, and I'm going to have to remedy that. My goal is just to keep those niggling injuries moving from one area to another.
Oh, that's an awesome perspective. I think I need to start doing things like that. But that brings me to Cameron, that is a golf enthusiast. Welcome to the show. And what do you think about all of this that we're talking about, adults continuing with their sports or maybe picking up a sport?
Well, thanks for having me. I'm glad to join everyone here this afternoon. I agree wholeheartedly with the three panelists that have spoken before me. Sports for me has always been a stress reliever, a way to get away from some of the other things that are bogging me down in my life and kind of just clear my mind so that I can go back with a clean slate, fresh plate, and I can address my problems with a new frame of mind. Getting outside, getting some natural light, getting that heart pumping is always good for your mental space and just your relationships and your general mood.
Well, you told me that you got into golf because of your dad. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, so I started playing golf 10 years ago when I was a junior in high school. When I played basketball at my high school, in order to be a scholarship athlete, you had to play a second sport. So I'd watch my dad go to the golf course throughout my younger years, been with him to the driving range, saw him buy those buckets of balls and hit them out into the distance. So when it came time to pick the second sport, I just decided to go with golf. And he was my coach then, and he still coaches me up today when I go to the course.
So now that you're no longer in high school and college, is it hard to keep it up playing, sports?
It's a bit harder because when you're an adult, you have more responsibilities, more things take away from your time. But in my day-to-day life, it hasn't been too hard to keep up because staying active in sports has always been a priority in my life. So whether I miss a day or two, I usually don't miss 3 days in a row where I'm not doing something athletic or fitness related. I try to get to the course about once a week. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but it's such an important time, especially as Harris was saying, during this time of COVID and mental health and being in your four walls. It's just great to get outside, get some sunshine, and do something with some other people.
That's awesome. And Corporal, I was going to come back to you and ask you, how does participating in PAL impact the officers who are participating? Does it have an impact?
Absolutely. It is the most favorite assignment I've had on the department. It is such a rewarding experience. I've been invited to these kids' graduations and been able to see them grow up into amazing young adults. And to have even a small impact on that is absolutely amazing.
And you said you mostly do the running program. You're a runner, is that right?
Yes, I did. I ran track and cross country in high school and college, and I do spearhead the running club as well as our martial arts program. We have a great jiu-jitsu program as well. Those are my two main programs that I work with.
And is it hard for you to keep up with the kids and running and doing all those kinds of things as an adult?
It is. They have so much more injury and they just don't feel the side effects afterwards the next day after a long run like I do now. But I am able to keep up, and I'm so grateful for it because they motivate me too. They keep me healthy. Days where I really just don't feel like working out and I've had a long day at work, I get home and I'm like, well, I really have to because I have to tell the kids that I'm keeping up with them. I have to keep up. So it's
That's awesome.
actually beneficial to all of us.
That's awesome. And Kodjo, when you're coaching these kids, I know it's in soccer, but are you encouraging them to keep this kind of activity up when they get older?
Yes, like we always say, being a good soccer player is a lifestyle. And once you adopt that lifestyle, I encourage them to continue, playing for as long as they can. Most people say that I look younger than my age, and I thank soccer for that. So yeah,
Well,
definitely.
and how hard was it for you to continue in soccer and to start this coaching program and all of that when you're now an adult?
Yeah. It is challenging because as an adult you have a lot of responsibilities, and sometimes sports doesn't fall on top of the list of priorities. But there's a lot of local leagues in the area, and our friends, a lot of my friends are also soccer players, which kind of makes it easy for me to stay with the sport and participate and continue participating in the sport.
And I wanted to jump back to Harris. I wanted to ask you, I know that you have an opportunity or you coach kids, young kids and stuff like that. How does that impact you individually as a person coaching these little
Literally
ones?
live for it. My life is my side hustle, and Kodjo knows it. These guys know it. So I live my life to serve my family. So I work in this domain, but I'm waiting for school to end so I can play with my kids out back or adults. But that's what makes people very, very happy when I'm with them on a tennis court, whether I'm competing against them or with them or coaching them. It just makes a huge difference. And, Tom Brady credits the inner game of tennis for a lot of his breakthroughs in football. And my best friend's a golf coach. His name is, Keith Robertson. He and Cameron have a lot of similar battles they could tell. It doesn't matter what endeavor or commitment. What matters to me is mastery and finding the right people to sojourn with it. And then I can learn to get people to calm down in the maelstrom of these experiences, just like these other athletes and mostly this amazing Corporal Perret. It's incredible to keep these kids moving their body, because what I found and what I'm trying to deliver this message is movement is medicine. That's what I find.
I think that's awesome. Movement is medicine. That's actually a very simple phrase, but it's very impactful. And Cameron, would you agree?
Certainly, it sounds like the common thread here is that sports, no matter what sport you're playing, helps you deal with situations in all aspects of your life. So movement is medicine. That's a life model to live by, definitely.
I'm thinking it might be a t-shirt in the future. Well, Cameron, tell me a little bit about golf, because I've always had folks saying, oh, you've got to pick it up. How hard is it to pick up golf?
Skill-wise, it may take you a little while to get it down, but I always like to say that if you're playing golf to win, you're playing for the wrong reasons. I mean, sure, you have your competitive times where you're out with a group of people and you want to have the best score, wish you picked up a few strokes on some of those holes, but at the end of the day, it's just a game to play. Enjoy the people you're out in that group with, and if you have a good day with long game, maybe your short game may be off that day or vice versa, but at the end of the day, it's about getting outside, getting those fresh rays of sunshine and enjoying the day.
And that's awesome. Harris, I forgot, I wanted to ask you, who is the group that you are associated with for the coaching and for the tennis and the teams?
So kind of you. It's 4-Star Tennis Academy, and it is a core member of what I'm a part of. It's more of an elite group that I originate players for, but I guess my point is it's an academy like Kodjo, and I represent that, but it's more like I originate players. I have to cultivate them to be really good enough for it. But, and again, it's never been about the tennis. It's always been about that mastery.
And so if someone is interested, how would they find out more information about that?
It's really easy. They Google 4-Star Tennis, and we have a wonderful marketing person named Deb Dagger who handles the adults. And I'm happy to give my phone number out, 301-674-4849. I'm an open book when it comes to this. It takes a little while to work up to the 4-star sort of levels, but at least I'm a catch-all that you can find out more about tennis and how to get involved like that.
And how old would you say is a good age to get kids started in tennis?
It's a classic question. There's real no age to start. Depends on their interest. The real question is, when do you reduce? When do you quit other sports? And that's another conversation, because it is highly specialized, and I don't think you should rush that. I believe all these movements matter. Soccer is a profound advantage for tennis players. If they play soccer when they're young, the movement is the same. And you see these Europeans that dominate tennis now. We've not had an American champion since 2001, but all these Europeans have played, and all the Africans and all the Russians, they've all played a lot of soccer, including there's a man from College Park that Cameron may know named Francis Tiafoe, who is going to set the world on fire. And he's an incredible person to boot. But that happens locally, and that'll be fun and sticky for tennis, because we have a phenom who's going to draw eyeballs to this area, because he was the janitor's son at the JTCC right there in College Park. And I've known the kid since he's a child. He's amazing. He will be.
That's awesome. That's great that we have a
great
local
story.
hero coming around soon.
Yeah, he'll be well. He's 30 in the world right now, which is huge. I mean, in tennis, that's just huge. And he's going to be a superstar. He looks and moves like LeBron James. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
He's just a bigger man and more athletic. He's incredibly intelligent. Just get on it early. Tiafoe, Francis Tiafoe from College Park.
That's awesome. And Corporal, I wanted to give you a chance to shout out either the website or a number for anybody, the kids who might be interested in Prince George's County participating in PALS.
Absolutely. All you have to do is visit our website at www.pgcpal.org.
All right, awesome. So anybody who wants their kids in this youth program over in Prince George's County, highly recommend it. Check it out. And Kodjo, are you always looking out for players, or how do you develop your players?
I like to build from the ground up, like any age, from 5 years of age all the way to high school. Like you said, it's never too late to start, right? As long as you're willing to learn, I'm ready to teach you to help you become a better person, a better version of yourself.
Well, we're out of time. It always goes so fast. I want to thank everybody, my guests for being on the show, audience for watching, and we are on Facebook and on YouTube. Check us out, like us. Until next time.